Hey RRT family, Ryan Reynolds here with Keller Williams Consultants Realty in your October 2023 real estate market update. So what's going on here in October of 2023? Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. The Buckeyes are doing well so far. Pumpkins are coming out. In fact, I've seen Christmas decorations at Lowe's and Home Depot already, so I'm not sure what time of year it really is, but evidently it's spending money time of year because that's what they think everybody's doing. But all of that aside, what else it is it might be very well the best time in the next 10 years, or for the next 10 years, to buy a house. And why do I say that? Well, there's a bunch of reasons, and we're going to talk about them in the perspective, or from the perspective of the three things we normally speak about, which are interest rates, inventory, and pricing. So let's go ahead and jump into why those things are right now. So the first thing we're going to talk about are interest rates. Now, interest rates are pretty high considering what they've been over the last 5 or 7 years. In fact, interest rates in the last month or so have topped out higher than they've been since before the year 2000, or right around the year 2000. So if you purchased a house since then, you probably feel like they're really high. And if you have a 4% interest rate, you're probably thinking, why in the heck would anybody buy now? So why is that a good thing for you if you're thinking about buying a house? Well, it's a bad thing if you can't now afford the house you wanted to buy. However, it's a good thing if you can still afford it. Maybe you don't really want to pay that much for that monthly payment, but you can afford it because the competition for buying the house you probably want is going to be a lot less since those other people cannot afford it, and you can. Now, if you can't afford it, one strategy you might think about doing is buying the house now, locking in that price, and then refinancing the house later. From the Federal Reserve's perspective, I know that they're expecting to raise rates maybe one more time this year. But if you look at the dot plot from the Federal Reserve Chairman's opinions of what's going to happen coming up in the next couple years, they are expecting to lower interest rates. And when those rates come down, while they don't directly affect the mortgage interest rates, they do indirectly affect them, and they'll probably come down as well. And that would be your opportunity to refinance. So what's the best part about it? Or why is it good for you to buy now? Because if you can afford it to buy now, buy it with the intention of refinancing it later, and you can lock in your price and you can have less competition as you're buying it. So that's interest rates. So the next thing we're going to talk about is inventory. Now, where is inventory today? Well, it is sitting at 2,387 single-family houses in the Columbus MLS as of today. What does that mean? Not a whole lot of anything unless you know about where inventory has been. So far this year, that is the highest amount of inventory that we've had. In fact, inventory has been steadily growing. It's actually the highest since probably mid-fall of last year, and I kind of expect it to grow a little bit more through November, and then December it typically comes down as some people take their house off for the holidays. But in any case, it's the highest. What does that mean for you as a buyer? Well, it means that you'll have more choice. It also means that houses might sit on the market for more than 4 hours, so you might have a chance to go and actually look at it before you actually have to put an offer in. And it also might mean that if you have a house to sell, you might, and I emphasize might, on some homes be able to get someone to accept a home sale contingency, which for the last 10 years you've not been able to do that. So inventory being up is a good thing, especially if you're buying a house or trading up or buying an investment property. So that's inventory. So now let's talk about everybody's favorite pricing. Where are prices at compared to where they were last year, and where are they compared to last month, and where are they going? Well, I think that pricing is actually on a little bit of a decline. We're probably going to see the actual price number come down a little bit of the average and median sales price. However, compared to a year ago, we're still up about 5 or 5.1%, depending on which one of those two numbers you're looking at. I don't ever really expect to see pricing come down below where it was last year. It might come down to maybe 1 or 2% of appreciation in the December-January timeframe from the previous year, but I really expect it to be going up. And in the future, what I'm expecting is that when interest rates come down, which we said before, we're expecting that the Federal Reserve will have that happening sometime in the 24-25 year. But when the pricing comes down, what's going to happen is the inventory will come down because people will now be able to afford more of the houses, and therefore they'll go off the market, and the pricing is going to shoot through the roof. And so that's really the big thing about buying a house now, and why it's the best time in the next 10 years to buy. I went to a presentation from a consultant who was talking about what's going to be happening to the Columbus area in the next 10 years. And she said that she believes that Columbus, Ohio will look like Austin, Texas did for the past 10 years in the next 10 years, if that makes sense. So what Austin did in the last 10 years is what Columbus might do in the next 10 years. When you look at Austin, There was a lot of technical growth there because of all the companies moved there. Here we've got Intel, we've got Google, we've got Amazon, all kinds of data warehouses and things like that. And so that's why she's comparing those two. Austin over the past 10 years went up on an average of about 10 to 11% per year, which means that house prices or home prices will pretty much triple, or they did triple. And that would probably translate to what's going on here. Now, do I believe they're going to go up 3 times in the next 10 years, double and then double again? I don't know if I quite believe that, but even if that's not quite true and they go up at a rate of 7 or 8%, that's still way above the historical average of 4%. And if I'm a home buyer or someone who's looking to trade up especially, I want to get in and lock in my price before all of that happens. And I think that's going to probably kick off sometime in the spring of 24, and that price appreciation may not stop. So that's all I have for you for this month in October of 2023. If you have specific questions about maybe buying, selling, or investing in real estate, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to look at your specific situation and help you come up with a solution that's right for you. As always, I'm Ryan Reynolds with the Ryan Reynolds team and Keller Williams Consultants Realty. Unlimited opportunities and exceptional experiences.